Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 060, Topics in Developmental Mathematics, Section 2.10, Problem 29. This is Section 2.10, Problem 29. We have the square root of 4 plus 5 over 64 plus a half. So there's quite a few things going on in this problem. There's two different additions and there's a square root. So ordinarily I'd say you have to do the square root first. But overall, if you have parentheses, you need to do parentheses first. There are no parentheses really visible in this problem, but the fraction bar is what they say is a grouping symbol. So it's like parentheses. The first thing I need to deal with is to complete the top of the fraction that's under the square root, the 4 plus 5. So the very first thing I'm going to do, I'll leave the square root for a minute. 4 plus 5 is 9. I'll leave the denominator of 64. Then I'll have plus 1/2. So the first thing I had to do was the top of the fraction that's under the square root. Again, that fraction line acts as a set of parentheses. Essentially, it's called a type of grouping symbol. Now, what's left, I have a square root and an addition. What has to get done first is the square root. Square root is a type of exponent, essentially. Exponents have to be done before addition. So the square root of 9 over 64 is 3 over 8. Basically, you can take the square root of the top and the bottom separately. Square root of 9 is 3 because 3 times 3 is 9. Square root of the denominator, square root of 64 is 8 because 8 times 8 is 64. And really, if you multiply 3/8 times 3/8, it would put you back at 9 over 64. And then I have to add a half to that. Now, in order to add any two fractions, I need to have a common denominator. These two fractions do not have the same denominator yet. So with a little bit of work, I can make them have the same denominator. A good choice would be 8. 8 divides into 8 evenly, of course, but 2 also divides into 8 evenly. So my common denominator will be 8. So the first fraction, 3 over 8, if I leave the denominator as 8, I can clearly leave the numerator as 3. That's an easy one. The second one you have to think about a little bit more. So I had a denominator of 2, and I did something to make it turn into a denominator of 8. And what I did was multiply times 4. So I have to multiply the numerator times that same value, in this case 4. 1 times 4 is 4. So 4/8 is the same as 1/2. They're equivalent. It would reduce back to 1/2. Now I have common denominators. They're both over 8. So to add those together, I keep my common denominator, which is 8. Combine the numerators. 3 plus 4 more is 7. So my answer is 7/8. And that's the final answer for the whole problem.